your kid, brother. You take him. Come on, Albert.
At Canadian Tire, we carry the best names in hockey. Bauer, Cooper, CCM. But we're just the beginning. How far you go depends on you.
Boy, I sure wish we had a guy like Albert.
Yeah. Next to me, Peter Mahovlich, a dominant force in the 1972 Canada-Soviet series, and in '76. Peter, what's impressed you about the hockey game here so far tonight?
Well, Eddie, I think both teams are playing extremely well defensively, and the first game of the series for them, to play that type of game is a credit to their coaching staff.
Thanks a lot, Pete. Now back up to you.
Oh, fine. Good news to hear from Peter Mahovlich. Fellow that started, I guess, all of the sweater changing after that '76 Canada Cup. I don't know why he thought so highly of Jaroslav Pozar's sweater, but...
Well, I think it was that the Czechoslovakian players seemed to have a lot of character and a lot of personality. And again, we both respected each other's hockey clubs, and it was a tough-fought series. And at the end of it, when it was all over, there was still a lot of friendship there.
You still got the sweater, have you, Darrell?
Sure do.
Over the line, Schwartzhoff now. Schwartzhoff cutting for the corner now, trying to cut around the net. Still has that puck, getting a little bit of room. Finally, they chase him off it, and it was cleared away by Musil. Musil, Klima, Musil with him, and Musil gets the pass, makes a good move at center ice now. It's over the line. Kadlitz in against the boards. Behind the net, drops it back in front of the net. Klima couldn't knock it down. Schwartzhoff then tries to get it in front of the net and out to center ice. Kadlitz back inside his own zone. Klima coming back on the play, lost the puck, and they score! Just a slight mishandling of the puck, and the Soviet Union capitalized so very, very quickly. And suddenly it's 2-0 on a goal by Mikhail Barnikov.
That's a big goal for the Russians right there. Young Klima had the puck. It was bouncing a little bit. He lost it. Soviet player turned around and just fired the shot. Good shot, good hard shot. Hasek really didn't have much of a chance on it.
Just a bullet by Barnikov, who comes off that line from the Gorky torpedo. 7:15 the time of the goal, and it's 2-0 for the Soviet Union now. Well, now what does Czechoslovakia do?
Well, it's going to be awful difficult for them to come back. I can remember watching the gold medal game in Sarajevo. It was a similar type game. It was a 2-0 hockey game, and the Russians get up on you like that. Now they're going to try to check and not give you any scoring opportunities at all.
They haven't had a goal scored on them in a major tournament in a long time. Remember, they closed off the Olympic Championship Series with a couple of shutouts in a row. Rolled out in front again. Now Liba in against the boards now. They're going to have to try and open it up a little bit. Goals for and against, of course, are a factor in this tournament. Liba back out at center ice. Staviana clears it to an open wing. Koshevnikov now. 12:15 remaining. Liba ahead for Uvira. Uvira just had to go off his skate into the Soviet zone. Pervukin clears it back out to center ice. And here we go again. Shepelev back into his zone. Cleared out to center ice once again by Billy Latinov. Now backing over the line. There's a quick shot. The rebound comes out off Pashek. Deep in his zone now. Starting out for the Czechoslovakian national team. Staviana out to center ice. But again, Billy Latinov to the far side for Pervukin. Pervukin clears it all the way down the ice. Uvira going back to get it behind his own net. And as he does, icing is called. Face-off down in the Soviet end. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
Wait till you see what the computer wizards at Apple have come up with now. It has the power of these two computers, a built-in disk drive. It can run over 10,000 different programs. You get everything you need to hook it right up to your TV. You can even add a mouse. Introducing the Apple IIc. Now comes the real magic. You can take it home for under $2,000. The Apple IIc.
Vladimir Krutov from the Central Red Army Sports Club of Moscow. Great Soviet star, part of the #1 line for the Soviets.
I think an interesting note is the number of young players that play in Czechoslovakia compared to the number of players that play in Russia. Czechoslovakia has about 30,000 young players playing. The Soviet Union has well over 1 million, so a lot more players to groom and to choose from.
Front of the net now. It's cleared out to center ice, and Musil's got it. Musil along the boards. He is knocked down by Makarov. Starikov now. Front of his own net. Clears it off the boards and back out to center ice, and Musil. Musil, number 6 for the Soviet Union, or at least for Czechoslovakia, being chased by the Soviet Union's Igor Larionov. That's the boards. Larionov trying to dig it out. Now around behind the net, flips it out. It's a quick shot. Makarov was right there in front of the net. The shot was taken by Kharuzov. Now Musil. 2-0. Soviets lead. Ahead. Rusitska deflecting it out to center ice, and Larionov. Larionov cutting in front of his own net, feeds it ahead for Makarov, who just eases it down into the Czechoslovakian zone now. Baynock back, feeds it off the boards for Musil. Musil circling behind the net. Musil feeds it back against the flow now. There's zone is Baynock. Baynock is checked. Salder has to come over. Salder can't control it. Now the checking. You see what happens when the Soviets get a 2-0 lead. They just put the clampers on.
They sure do.
Center ice, cleared off the boards once again. Baynock, Musil. Musil in his own zone. Now Larionov. Larionov. It's interesting to see a high-scoring line like the Larionov line do the checking job that they're doing right now. They're very adept in every aspect of the game. Stelnov shooting it in. Baynock also moving in there now as it's fed off against the boards. Yashin trying to control, cleared in front of the net, and winds up in the corner. Now Semenov. Semenov, Makarov, who's stuck on the ice right now as they try to complete a change. Has the tone off, and here comes Czechoslovakia at center ice with Hrdina. 2-on-1. Hasek over the far side, hopped over his stick. Yashin feeds it right back out to center ice. Semenov to the line now. Tries to get the return pass, cuts for the net, feeds it in. The shot deflected wide. Defense got in the way of that one. Now Horshova out at center ice. Semenov going deep into his own zone to pick up the puck. Moving into forecheck is Hrdina. Korbola trying to control it deep inside the zone. Kazatonov stripped it away from him, but it's back at the point for Horshova. Fakes the shot, had trouble handling it. Now it hits Svetlov, and it's out at center ice again. Korbola shooting it in. That was a rising shot, and then loose in front of the net. Hasek trying to get set, and he shot it wide. He was being harassed from behind by both Kazatonov there and Gusarov. Now Horshova in his own zone. Kodlets, Horshova at center ice now. The lead pass off Rosel's stick, and as Rosel is reaching back for it, he took a good hit there from Gusarov. Back inside the zone. Still the sympathies of the crowd right now are with Czechoslovakia. Horshova through center ice, winds up with a long shot, gets the rebound, drips it in there again. They got 2 quick shots on, but they were from a long way out, and Moishkin handled them well. Now Kadlet's getting tripped up in his own skate. Soviets wind up with possession inside the Czechoslovakian zone. Kadlets is back in there to help out. Head straight ahead. Czechoslovakia. Rosol at center ice lost possession. Klima's got it. Fine young player for Czechoslovakia. Peter Klima moving for the net now. Kamesh is the man in front, but he couldn't get it to him. And the Soviet Union takes over once again. Out at center ice, leading the rush is Barnikov. Over the line, Barnikov along with Kubin. Out in front of the net, they score! Good job, I think. And the Soviet Union leads 3-0.
Well, there was a case of another 3-on-1 by the Russian team. Some great passing there. Right on the forehand. He shot it as soon as he got it.
So it's 3-0 now. Soviet Union leading. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
Feel free in the wind. Smile with the day. The taste comes shining through. So keep on smiling.
There's a look at it.
Barnikov makes a nice pass over to Kovin. the winger Skvortsov, he's all alone in front of the net. It's a perfect pass right on his forehand. He just had to let it go as quick as he can into the lower corner.
Well, it is Skvortsov, the right winger, getting it from Kovin, the center, and Varnikov, the left wing. That's the way it's scored. 12-13, and it's 3-0 Soviet Union. The whole line, of course, part of the Gorky Torpedo when they play their regular season in the Soviet First Division. Back they come now to the line. Gimayev keeps it in deep now. Shepelev was in there as well, but it winds up back at center ice with Bilyaletinov ahead. Cleared over the line. One deep. Benak trying to beat the forward there. It's a quick shot, but it's shot it high, and the rebound comes up the back boards. And Liba, who hasn't really had much chance to get his skating underway in this game. That's cleared by Svozil down into the Soviet zone. Barbukin, Shepelev. And out come the Soviets with Gimayev giving it to Koshevnikov. Koshevnikov bumped off the puck by Musil as he hit the line. Svozil's back there to get it. He's number 22 for Czechoslovakia. Ahead, Lukacs gets 3. Over the line now. And Bilyaletinov with that good speed got right back into play. Liba hit a check behind the net against the boards. Kadlec keeps it in, but finally it's Gimayev coming out. Gimayev over the line for Makarov. Makarov going to the net. Loose in front. Down goes Pashek, and he holds it out. We'll have a face-off deep inside the Czechoslovakian zone. 13 minutes, 25 seconds gone in the third period. There's the score. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
Designing a better service station isn't child's play. You've told us you want stations with quick and easy access and signs you can read at a glance, where you can move around easily whatever the weather. Clean, uncluttered stations, well lit at night, where service is everything it's supposed to be. At Esso, we're designing better service stations because that's what you want. Because of you, we're getting better.
Here's a shot from on top of the forearm where Varnikov comes in. He makes a little pivot. The defenseman skates right by him. He maybe should have went for him. Kovin throws it across right onto Skvortsov's forehand. Again, Hasek really didn't have any chance on that. It was a nice play by the Russians. Great passing.
And again, that advantage of playing together a lot. They knew exactly where each other would be. Skvortsov capitalized. 3-0 now out in front of the net. Larionov couldn't get the shot away. There's a shot that's blocked at the defense. And out comes the Czechoslovakia once again. Lala along the board. Salder back inside the zone, but it's cleared by Starikov out to center ice. But Czechoslovakia comes back 2-on-1. Now Ruzicki gets the pass, tries to get set, shoots it. And the save is made by Moishkin. And out come the Soviets once again with Karutov, but he's checked from behind by Lala. Lala swinging back inside his own zone. They give it away inside the zone, but quickly recovering on the play was Horsheva as he cut in front of the net. Now Horsheva's got it behind the net. He's number 4 for Czechoslovakia. Forechecking on the play is Makarov. Out come the Soviets once again with Lala. Plays Czechoslovakia inside the zone. Larionov coming back for the Soviet Union. Now a rink-wide pass. Karutov just simply couldn't catch up with it. Kadlec shoots it back out to center ice. Hrdina pokes it free along the boards, but the Soviets with Starikov feeding it to the line. Hrdina again through center ice, and back comes Makarov. Makarov getting set, and he's checked just as he tried to get the shot away by Kadlec. Makarov behind the net now. He's checked, and the Czechoslovakians come back. At center ice carrying the puck for Czechoslovakia is Pashek to the line. Starikov gets that rebound. Against the boards, there's a shot hit the side of the net. That one taken by Hrdina. Now along the boards at center ice Uvira, but he couldn't reach it as Makarov checked it away. Makarov, Larionov to the line. Larionov trying to stick handle through. Korbola takes the puck. Korbola. Hrdina shooting it in. It's gloved by goaltender Vladimir Moishkin, and as he sees a few white sweaters coming in on him, he covers up alertly and holds for the faceoff.
So Czechoslovakia has had a few good scoring chances throughout the game. They just haven't been able to capitalize on them. Sometimes you need a break to get you going at a certain time in a hockey game. Tonight they haven't got that break, and they're behind and they're in trouble at this point of the hockey game.
Well, in the third period here, the Soviets have taken back control of the game a little bit. They hold it's about 7-7. I guess the shots on goal are about even. A total of 21-19 favor the Soviet Union at this stage. On the face-off now, Ubira at the blue line. And against the boards, cleared out through center ice again. And now it's Saviano. And again, this time Pashek is the one who covers up as he sees a few red sweaters around him. And so we'll have a face-off in the Czechoslovakian zone again. 3-0 the score. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
I tell you that we're going out with your blessing, your encouragement, and your good counsel. We're going to put together that grand alliance of Canadians who believe in Canada, who understand the magnificence of the country and what made it great. We're going to recapture the Canadian dream together, and we're going to bring about a brand new wave of prosperity that will do honor to all of you and do honor to Canada. Thank you for having us.
So we're set for the face-off deep in the Czechoslovakian zone. And Errol, one thing I think the Team Canada knows is neither one of these teams is going to be a patsy for them.
Well, I think they know that, and they have a big game coming up Monday night against US of A, and they're not going to be easy by any means. I think the Canadian players feel that might be the most physical game of the whole tournament, because they do play against the National Hockey League players, most of them with the United States, and it is going to be a physical game.
Tomic now at center ice, down to the line. They're right back down by Kazatonov into the Czechoslovakian zone. This time it's icing and back into the Soviet zone for the face-off. A reminder that we'll be back on the air tomorrow night, right from this very same location, for the second Team Canada game of the Canada Cup. That will be against the USA, 8 o'clock Eastern time for the telecast. Join us across the CTV network as we look at František Musil.
He's a fellow that he's the English interpreter of the hockey club. He's 200 pounds. He's a big boy, and he's only 19 years of age, and you're going to see him in a lot of international competition in the next few years.
Oh, you see him right there with the puck, but he got a weak pass away. It was deflected away from any kind of recipient of the pass, and now Musil back in his own zone. Now drops the pass off. That's Bainock, his defense partner, out at center ice. Rosol hit as he came to the line, and player was offside, so Klima had to circle with it. Gives it to Musil. He shoots it in. Kazatonov's back there once again for the Soviets. Out for Semenov. Intercepted. Comes in Bainock. The shot, and he blasted it. And again, good reactions by Moishkin, who's shown us a lot in this hockey game. And now a little ill temper there between Klima and Yashin. Klima took a little slash at him just at the end of the play as the whistle went.
Moishkin's made a lot of excellent saves tonight. He goes down on the butterfly style. He gets his pad out on it. Point blank shot. He plays like that throughout the tournament. All teams are going to have tough time scoring, that's for sure.
Moishkin, Canadian fans, of course, remember him from the Challenge Cup in '79, the shutout he registered in the final game. Everybody's surprised that Tretiak didn't play that final game, and he came away with a shutout. Here's a quick shot. Oh, he let that one go. It's Varnikov again. Deep inside the zone. Setting it in the corner is Koven. He's knocked off the puck. Also in there is Sportsov. This line again buzzing around. The line that comes from Gorky. Here's Horsheva. Horsheva over the line. Gets it in front of the net now. It's Vozil. Vozil working through some traffic in the corner. And there's a slash. They're both going. Liba retaliated after he took a pretty good shot from Belia Litvinov. And so they're both going to go, but the retaliation is what cost them a manpower advantage, Czechoslovakia. Liba not going to have a little discussion also with Moishkin. Well, Belia Litvinov gave him a pretty good shot to start it. Let's take a look at this.
Belianetnikov, he's a big, strong defenseman, and he's noted for being a little mean. There was a little bit of interference there, a little elbow in the head, and a retaliation punch.
And then further retaliation by Liba. Ron Wicks, the referee, saw the first retaliation, and he saw the second retaliation. So they both go anyway. The coincidental minors, 2:58 left in the hockey game, 3-0 the Soviets lead. Now let them cool it out a little bit right there. Igor Liba, who was voted the best player in Czechoslovakia last year. A good player. He got tremendous speed and a great shot.
He hasn't had much chance to show that tonight. Check very closely.
So face off at the top rim of the circle. Yamayev wins the draw. Starikov cutting in front of his own net now. Salder's in there forechecking, being tied up by Svetlov. But the puck is cleared down the ice, and will be called on the two-line pass. So back into the Soviet zone for a face-off. 2:50 left. Good crowd here at the Montreal Forum to watch this game. There you see the recipients of the penalties issued by Ron Wicks. We mentioned, of course, the absence of Fetisov, but the Soviets are also missing what I think is one of the great rising Soviet stars. The #1 scorer in the Soviet League last year, top scorer in the Olympics, Igor Drozdetsky. Drozdetsky suffered injury to his kidneys in a tournament in Italy. He apparently is going to be back playing for the Soviet Union when they hit their training camp late in September. But he's not available for this tournament. Nikolai Drozdetsky. So there's icing called again, and this game is kind of winding down now. All right, Darrell, we'll put you on the spot. Labatt's player of the game, the Soviet Union. Who do you like?
Maybe Krutov. I think he played fairly well tonight. For Czechoslovakia, Hasek's played very well, and I like Klima. I thought he played very strong game.
All right. Well, we've got a couple to choose from then. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Hasek, certainly in the first period for Czechoslovakia, kept the Soviets off the score. You know, you got to give yourself a chance to win the game. Sometimes you don't, but you got to have good early goaltending in a game, and I think that the Czechoslovakian team got that. They just were unable to put a puck behind Moishkin, the Soviet Union, at least so far. Krutov has just been, well, some of that, what Bob Gainey described as that desire, I think, shone through in this game. He has just been very, very tough. He's been doing a lot of checking. Now we'll see how the jury sees it on the other side of the ice. We'll get a different view. All right, Hasek behind his own net now, starting out, and he's checked. They have really just settled down to a very solid job of checking Czechoslovakia now. Radina unable to even get free here at center ice. Musil couldn't get it. Baynak gets it over the line, but boy, they're just lining up on that blue line right now. And there's Kazatonov at center ice, ahead for Gimaev, and it's offside at the line. As kind of caught trying to straddle the line there was Shevnikov, and so with 1:32 left, we'll have another face-off. There's Gimaev, Erik Gimaev from the Army. He's been around. He's been up and down with this team, and he seems to go in and out of favor with his coach, Viktor Tikhonov, but he's here for this tournament, so obviously he's in favor right now.
Maybe what they call you a utility player, I guess, if you're one of those type of players. He's can play defense and he can play forward very effectively.
He's filling in for Tyumenev, who's a fine young player who was hurt in the exhibition series, and he'll be bringing in, as a matter of fact, he's flying in tomorrow by a Soviet Aeroflot to Mirabel to play in the next game in this series, Mikhail Vasilyev, who was left behind. So Vasilyev is back in the lineup now. Well, out comes Kazatonov now. They just dropped the puck around there. Now with 1:04 left in the game, out at center ice, it's Gusarov. He clears it in. Less than a minute remaining now. And at center ice, Kazatonov again. The penalized players get back on the ice at the line. Coming in over the line now. And unable to really get loose as he hit the line was Peter Rosso. Well, they'll try it again over the line, and knocked down as he came in was Kotlets, and he kind of looked at Ron Wicks and said, where was the call? And Ron Wicks said, the call is right here, and there'll be a penalty with 42 seconds left in the game.
A little chippiness out there. Kucherov took a shot at Czech forward there. He caught him a little bit, stuck out his foot to trip them, and then after that, I think it was Liba took a swat at Kucherov with his stick as he was going to the box. So there's no love between these two teams, that's for sure.
Never has been and never will be. He's been involved in a few little things in this game. They got their little tricks. They give you a stick once in a while.
They're definitely not intimidated. I would say a few years ago when we played them in 76 and 72, maybe they were a little intimidated by the North American style of play, but the last few years, that's gone all out of the game.
Well, you know, the difference is, Darrell, that for years up until 1972, you played international rules, and international rules did not allow forechecking. You couldn't go in and hit in the other zone. And so the Soviets just weren't used to having a guy pour in on them. And I still think it might have been the difference in the 1972 series.
Well, they sure made up for it in the past 10 years, that's for sure.
They found out, didn't they? There's Zerwira. And, of course, the international game has improved because of it. Now it's a very, very spectacular event. Now we got 10 seconds left in the hockey game. Out at center ice on the power play. Uvira just stopped at the line. Makarov, he just stripped it away from him. He stepped into him. With 1 second left at center ice. Slaviana controlling the puck, and that's it. The siren goes. This hockey game is over, and the Soviets have recorded yet another shutout victory. We go back through the last couple of games of the Olympics, the last big tournament they were in. Now there's young, of course. There you see the blonde hair of Vladimir Muishkin as he comes out of his goaltending equipment. He's recorded this particular shutout. The last two were recorded by his predecessor, Vladislav Tretiak.
Well, he's played very well. When the Czech team did have a few opportunities on him, he came up with some pretty big saves, and maybe that's what he needs, is the chance to be #1 goalie, to come up and prove what he can do. He's always played in the shadow of Tretiak, who, you know, I think was the best goalie, has been the best goalie in the world, and maybe this is the next best goalie coming up.
We'll see. A long way to go in this tournament, but the Soviet Union now moves into a tie with the USA and Canada, undefeated. There's the bottom three, of course, the teams that suffered losses. So Czechoslovakia, along with the losses by Germany and Sweden yesterday. So next, of course, the USA and Canada. That game tomorrow night here in the Montreal Forum before the scene shifts in the Canada Cup tournament, at least for Team Canada, to Vancouver later on in the week against Sweden. So we're awaiting now the presentation of the Player of the Game awards. The Soviet Union, as you see them lined up along the blue line. We'll look at this hockey game, and I think it was everything that it was expected to be. It was tough, very tough at times. Very close checking. And the Soviet Union, when they got the lead, especially when they got the 2-0 lead, they just had the clampers on, and there was really not much Czechoslovakia to do.
They picked up their forwards. They checked after they got the lead. They're a very tough hockey club to score on. Like I said, you don't get a lot of good chances on them. When you do, you have to put them in, and Czechoslovakia just didn't put them in tonight.
Monsieur Louis Morin. Monsieur Morin sera accompagné du publiciste et gérant général du Journal de Montréal, qui célèbre cette année leur 20e anniversaire, Monsieur André Gourde. Le joueur par excellence Labatt de la rencontre pour l'équipe de l'Union soviétique recevra une sculpture esquimau de gracieuseté de Esso. The Labatt's player of the game for the Soviet Union team will receive an Eskimo carving provided through the courtesy of Esso. Numéro 9, number 9, Vladimir Krutov.
Well, Darrell, you're 3 for 3.
Receiver 4 for 4. He deserved it. He played very well, played a strong game, both offensively and defensively.
Well, I'll tell you, he is solid. He's not
Le
very
joueur
tall.
par excellence de la rencontre pour l'équipe de la Tchécoslovaquie recevra une caméra Canon T70. The Labatt's player of the game for the Czechoslovakian team will receive a Canon T70 camera. Le numéro 2, number 2, Dominique Hachek.
4 for 4.
Well, he played an outstanding game. He kept the Czechs in there when he had the goals they did score. He really didn't have any chance on them. They're really high on this fellow, and we're going to see a lot of them throughout the tournament.
Okay, Dominik Hasek, age 19, and he is the player of the game for Czechoslovakia. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.